How would I start this? You want to start this off?
Welcome to the Neu Daye Podcast. This is episode 14. It is Monday. I am Nathan.
And I'm Peter.
So we did, and yeah, so that's I'm the new part because my last name is Newman. He's Daye because his last name is Daye. And can you feel the power?
You need to get some more energy in the next time you open this up.
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible at open. Plus, I'm cold, or I've got a cold, so I just have to suffer through it.
You got a cold.
Yeah.
That was a cold opening. Hey guys, it's the Neu Daye Podcast. Feel the power. It's awesome. So, hey Peter, how's it going? You got to put some enthusiasm in the opening, man. I don't know who's worse, you or Jake.
Whatever. I open every freaking week for Eyes on the Ring and everything else, so whatever. This was your idea to do this, so therefore it's your thing. You
know, whenever Jake is, have you listened to the Fast in the World podcast?
I usually listen to you guys talk. Faster than the World, I usually don't.
Okay.
There's so many podcasts out there that I just don't have time for all of them.
Yeah, the cool thing about Fast in the World, because it's a really quick review, it's like 15 minutes. Maybe 17 minutes, you're out of there. But I brought that up because Jake, on our podcast, he's very much mundane, Like, I'm more the charismatic person, but for the Faster Than the World podcast, he's like all energetic and yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like,
well, that's because that Faster Than the World is NXT, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
He's all energetic and he's like got charisma and personality. He's like talking with more character in his voice. It's pretty funny. It's funny. It's kind of hilarious.
I'll have to check it out then, because like with my work schedule and everything, like I'm lucky if I get to listen to 2 podcasts a week. Usually my podcasts that I listen to are Straight Shoot and then the Shake Them Ropes podcast. And then like if Four Corners Radio drops something new, I'll listen to that. Otherwise, like I don't listen to as many podcasts as I used to. And like the mainstream podcasts, they really don't appeal to me anymore. I'd rather listen to like stuff from fans talking about stuff rather than like wrestlers saying, oh, this is what's going on and this, that, and the other. The only one I can really stomach is Steve Austin at this point.
Uh-huh.
So
so you did listen to last week's Talks Wrestling?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it, if you don't mind me asking?
I thought it was just fine, to be honest. I mean, I'm not, like, when I listen to you guys, I'm not looking for award-winning programming, because you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that with this. You're not going to get that with any independently produced podcast. So, I mean, as long as the information is there, and as long as that's what I'm getting, then that's all I care about.
Well, I wasn't asking for that. You ain't got to bury my podcast like that, bro.
I wasn't burying it. I'm just saying, like...
No, but the point I'm making is we both have our feelings about, like, the WWE product, especially Raw product, as of late.
Correct.
And, if you listen to that from segment to segment, I'm just like, dude, they did everything wrong. And Jake's he was justifying a lot of what they were doing.
Well, and that's what I've noticed, like, the pattern with him is, like, you'll be the one to, like, say, no, this is what's wrong, this, that, and the other, and, like, it's like that one week when I said that Raw was awful, And then Jake chimed in, and he said, and that was on Twitter. I said Raw was terrible, and then Jake chimed in. He said, I thought it was pretty good. I'm like, well, were you watching the same show that I was?
Yeah.
So it's just like some people like are more positive than others. Like Aubrey Sitterson, who does the Straight Shoot podcast, he's a very positive person. So even if the worst thing possible happens, he can kind of see some good in it, whereas I can't. And more power to those people, but I just can't do that. You know what I mean?
You got to call it for what it is. I mean, especially for a show like Straight Shoot, you'd think he would probably point out a lot of the things that are just really bad right now.
Well, and a lot of his guests do, but he'll talk about it like if they bring it up, but otherwise, like he's all cheery and whatever about WWE. Plus, he used to work there.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably why.
I'm thinking to a certain extent that's just his nature. I don't think it's him being kind of glass half full kind of a guy. I think if you look at him, you pay him much attention, you think like you just see him out at like Whole Foods or something. He's just like, wow, these radishes are awesome.
Yeah. No, and he goes to like a lot of the PWG shows too, and like he's like one of those people that you either like him or you don't.
Yeah.
So
like
I know a lot of people on the internet that don't like him, but I don't see the reason
because he's
why. But that's neither here nor there.
Because he kind of has that Russell Wilson thing about him, where it's like, is he putting on a facade right now? Like, will I really get to know who this guy really is? You know, he's all cheery and he's always pretty positive and he's pretty upbeat. You think it's just him putting on a facade. So
yeah.
I imagine a lot of the dislike, I wouldn't say, I guess hate would be a bit of a stretch, is the fact that you don't really, it's just like, man, come on, get off that bullshit. Like, show me some emotion. Give me something I can sink my teeth into. If you can't do that, I'm just going to like, whatever. You just what's the word I want to use? He's a homer. Yeah?
Whatever that means.
Somewhat like hometown, like somebody your favorite. You just, regardless of the bad and the worst, you're always going to defend or always have something positive to say because that's your team. That's your a homer. But
I gotcha.
But yeah, let's get into it. Best and worst of the past week.
The best is I actually thought about this briefly before we got on the air. The best is the fact that TMZ broke this story about Rusev and Lana. I'm sorry. The best is that TMZ broke this story about Rusev and Lana and that it killed this whole Rusev, Ziggler, Lana, Summer Rae angle that's going on. And that's the best. The worst, the fact that, the worst is the fact, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, and it's no knock towards the person who won this title, but the worst is the fact that the TNA World Heavyweight Champion is Awesome Kong.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
You said women's?
No, the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, stop. You're ribbing me.
No, I swear to God.
You're ribbing me. We'll get to that. I'm going to give you my best and my worst. And it's not wrestling related, but because ain't nothing best right now in wrestling at all. My Carolina Panthers are undefeated. They went into Seattle and they beat the Seahawks, a team we haven't been able to get over the hump over. They've been keeping us out of the playoffs. We lost our wide receiver. We thought that would be an issue. Olsen stepped up. Cam Newton played a great game. My defense, Luke Kuechly and the boys kept the Seahawks offense to a bare minimum, and we're one of 3 teams that are undefeated still in the NFL. And my worst is a combination of 2 special teams plays. The first one, Michigan versus Michigan State. They had the game won. This would have been a big game for them. But the South American rugby player, 19-year-old kid, he fumbles the snap, resulting in a Michigan State winning at the buzzer, a walk-off. And the other special teams play was the Indianapolis Colts. They pulled like the worst special teams play I think I've ever seen in NFL history. They lined up like the punter and the backup center, and they put everyone else on the other side of the field. And you had basically five Patriots on these 2 guys. And when he went to snap the ball, it kind of sat in his hand like, I'm not supposed to get this. So it was like this moment of like pause, like what the fuck? There's nobody to defend them or block, so they just got murdered. Like on the snap. If you haven't seen it yet, just look it up, man. Like they get demolished. And it's like the most biggest bonehead play I've ever seen. So both special teams for college and NFL just hasn't had a great year at all. Still to this day, 2 defining plays happen in special teams. So, but yeah, did you get to see that Michigan ending?
No, I didn't.
But you're not like a college football guy, are you?
I'm not I would rather watch pro football than college football. It's nothing against college football, but it's just something that I'm not that into.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch the pros.
Yeah, I watch. It's good, just like college basketball, it's good to see that kind of enthusiasm from the young guys. I'm not a big fan of how the NCAA is set up in terms of pay. I think that's still something that needs – I think Congress needs to step in as long as there's millions and millions of dollars pouring in. They made it a system to where it's difficult to actually create a system to pay the players, and they did that on purpose. But the millions, as people complain and either for or against, the money just keeps coming in. And I don't agree with that. But it's nothing like watching the kids play football. It's big stakes. I don't have a specific team. I think if I did, I would be a Carolina Tar Heel fan.
Yeah.
But I don't care for their college football. I just watch everyone. I try to keep up with Big Ten, ACC, SEC, Big 12. I just try. I just watch all those games on like Goal Line, which is like the basically college red zone. It's called Goal Line. You just watch all the games in the red zone. But yeah, and another bad is Michigan fans who are sending death threats to that kid that screwed up that play. Like, just relax, guys.
Oh my God, people take things way too seriously. By the way, what I mentioned about Awesome Kong being the TNA World Champion, that is not true. Someone sent me something on Twitter and it was fake, and they didn't realize it, and then I fucking didn't realize it either. So, but yeah, that's nowhere to be found on the internet, so I apologize. So that did indeed not happen. But I will say, to replace my worst with something else, the fact that Matt Hardy won the world title at TNA's biggest show of the year, and then he lost it for some stupid storyline. So that is my worst.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that. Isn't it like... Who's the champion now?
I think the title's still vacant.
Is it Austin Aries?
No. Austin Aries isn't even in the company.
How about...
he's in ROH.
Yeah, okay. How about... is it like a black dude?
I can't even think about who it is right now.
I think we spent enough time on TNA.
Yeah.
But how about this Nathaniel? I mean...
That's not my name. My birth certificate says Nathan, so fuck you.
Nathaniel. Could you just thought that through?
What?
The Awesome Kong rib.
Well, no, I just saw it and I'm like, whatever. And then, yeah. So, yeah, but it didn't happen, so I apologize. So, whatever. My brain is tired.
I bet it seems that way. If I would have seen something like that, I would have been like, whatever.
And I should have figured the source, too, of who it came from. So
what, The Onion?
No, someone on Twitter told me about it, and this person is not necessarily a reliable source for news and shit, and they believe everything they see.
You think?
Yeah.
That's
so now I'm scrolling through Twitter to find this tweet so I can tell them that did not fucking happen.
My lord. Yeah, you can't trust these hoes. You cannot trust these hoes at all. I need to clean up some space on this sumbitch.
You need to clean your mouth.
Oh, sorry, dude.
I'm joking.
I was just looking at the space of my while doing this, and it's like extremely low.
You're talking about your computer space?
Yeah.
Like megabytes and memory and shit?
It stays low on a regular basis, but I'll pile on the where's my trash can? I'll pile on like the videos and the audio, and then I'll forget to there it is. I'll forget to delete it, and I'm looking at like 2 gigs of space, and that's no good. Boom, empty recycling bin. Where does this go? It should shoot right back up. All right, but nevertheless. Uh-oh. Anyway, I don't care. So check this shit out. Let's start. What do you want to start? Since you did the intro, what do you want to start? You want to start? You want to start with the you want to start with his Rusev thing, right?
Yeah, why not? Get it out of the way, because I honestly don't want to talk about it, but it's topical and we might as well. Mm-hmm. Because I just find it funny that, well, I don't know if you've read the rumors and whatnot, but according to what has happened, okay, TMZ broke this story that Lana and Rusev are now engaged in real life, meaning that this whole storyline, like I said earlier, between Rusev, Lana, Summer Rae, Dolph Ziggler, the one that's been painfully dreadful for the last couple months, is they're finally going to get rid of it. And Vince McMahon is apparently pissed because real life messed with kayfabe, and it's stupid. And from what I'm hearing and reading, Rusev is in the doghouse now because this entire thing got leaked. Yeah. And it's like, it's stupid because it's his personal life. He should be able to do whatever he wants. Yeah, they broke up in real life, or in storyline, but then they got married. It's like, look at your own son-in-law and your daughter, for Christ's sake. Yeah. They were married on TV before they ever got married in real life.
Yeah, it's pretty hypocritical. But on top of that, the TMZ didn't break it. It was fed to them by the WWE. That's their relationship. Okay. Whenever they do a thing where TMZ breaks this, TMZ breaks that. I mean, TMZ broke the Darren Young thing, but everything else that's, I don't know, something like this, that's more dealing with the wrestlers themselves and like, I guess something that, just other things. They normally feed TMZ because TMZ to them is a big time source. And if they can, TMZ scratches their back, they scratch TMZ's back. And that's what that was. That engagement was from 3 months ago.
Okay.
And that was something that Lana posted on her Instagram, which she later took down. Word got back to Vince, and I don't know if it was one of those things where they kept that from him, and that's why he's pissed. He's the type of person that never, ever, ever wants wrestlers dating. Actually, there was something earlier this year that passed.
Yeah,
it was. I
remember that.
Yeah, it was called like professionalism, something like this, not allowing WWE executives to date the wrestlers or some shit like that. And it's an extension of that. I've never known him to ever be a fan of, breaking kayfabe relationships. He's not happy with Dean Ambrose and Renee Young's relationship either.
Yeah, but most people don't even know about that, except for the fangirls who really like Dean Ambrose and want to kill Renee Young for no apparent reason. But
yeah, it's insider stuff.
Yeah, that's besides the point. Dean Ambrose fangirls are nuts, and they should all go jump off a bridge together while holding hands. But that's my opinion.
I mean, it's sad. I look at the Rusev storyline. I don't even see the storyline as much as I just see Rusev. Now, the discussion I have...
You mean like...
He's done.
You mean seeing Rusev where he is now compared to where he was, say, like a year ago?
I mean,
now?
You have to break down what happened that match. Now, Rusev is a guy that's been keeping strong for damn near a year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, he's been losing matches, but he hasn't lost to the degree that he lost just this past week. He got squashed in 3 minutes. His first loss ever on Raw, and he basically gets neutered on he gets neutered.
Yeah, they didn't treat it like... My problem with it, like, I had no problem that he lost, but to treat it just like an afterthought and not like a huge deal really bothered me. Because it was a huge deal. He got pinned for the first time on Raw. It kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting it to happen.
Squashed.
But the commentary team didn't even act like it was a huge thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's where they see him. And in the discussion I had with Jake just past Wednesday, I just said, I don't think there's anything else with Rusev you can actually do. He's done.
Well, yeah, and I've said this before, like, and there was like countless articles that people wrote about it. I was thinking about writing one, but I never did. But a lot of people were comparing Rusev to Goldberg in the sense where, with Goldberg, he went 173-0 before he lost, and then after that, he was pretty much an afterthought, and nobody gave a crap about him. And now with Rusev, it was the same kind of situation where a guy wins so many matches. I mean, they didn't keep his record like they did Goldberg's. I mean, they didn't mention it every freaking week. But he lost, and then he's pretty much now cannon fodder for whatever they want to do in the mid-card.
I see the comparison, but I feel like it's slightly off just a touch. Goldberg was an outlier. Goldberg was a once-in-a-lifetime situation.
True.
We've never seen it before when it first came on, when he first bursted onto the scene.
And we'll never see it again.
Ever. We'll never see it again. I don't care who you bring out. And, the time of him debuting, his climb to the championship, just everything about it, it was special. It was very special, and to the point that we still talk about it.
Yeah.
When it comes to streaks, the first thing we think of before we even think about the Undertaker streak, we think of Goldberg streak and his path to winning the world championship. The thing about Rusev is that I think they were high on Rusev. They were extremely high on Rusev. They gave him a victory over John Cena, even though Hooker crook. He still got a victory over John Cena on a pay-per-view. Even though he lost the feud, he was still booked to be strong. And now, you look at when he first bursted onto the scene, and one of the first things I thought was Kozlov. I was like, this is the next Kozlov.
Are you okay? When you say first burst onto the scene, are you talking?
Hold on, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, say that again because you broke up a little bit.
When you're saying first burst onto the scene, you're talking about on the WWE main roster, correct?
Yeah.
You're not including anything, okay, on NXT, because if you go back and you watch his NXT stuff on Hulu, he lost a lot.
Yeah.
And when he first debuted, he was not good.
But I don't.
And he wore a loincloth for God's sakes.
But I don't consider NXT a translation of what you become on the main roster. I
don't either, because we've obviously seen that where it's like it's totally different from one thing to another. What you become on, like, look at Bo Dallas. He was the NXT champion, and look where he's at on the main roster.
He's not even an afterthought. Calling him an afterthought means that there was actually a thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Just look at all the NXT guys that's come up. I mean, that track listing, that track record, it sucks. The only thing from the NXT roster that's on the main roster now that's doing any kind of damage is Seth Rollins. They're doing damage to him. You look at, Kevin Owens, he spent
I wouldn't count Seth Rollins in that, though, because he was in NXT when it changed over from FCW.
He was the first NXT champion.
But, yeah, he was, but his mainstay was in FCW.
Well, that just goes to show. That's still just...
was, and I believe he was never mind. But a lot of people say, when you say name a successful star from NXT, everyone will name the Shield. Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. But I say no, and the reason why I say no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying that, but the reason why I disagree is because most of their time was spent in FCW before NXT was even a thing.
Yeah,
even though Seth Rollins was the first ever NXT champion.
And that just goes to show with the track record of NXT. Even if mentioning that the Shield as a part of the NXT roster is a bit of a stretch, then that makes that track record even worse. And it's
like, I remember on Twitter one night when I was watching Raw, I said something about Neville being he could be the first true success story of NXT, and someone came back at me and they're like, well, what about Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns? I'm like, no, they don't count, because they were. I basically said the same thing I told you. I said, Seth Rollins was the first NXT champion, yes, but they spent most of their time in FCW before it even became NXT.
Yeah. And you look at Neville, you look at Dallas, you look at Big E Langston,
you look at Adam Rose,
and it's just like, wow. And we've joked about this before. This is one of the things. It's like, man, you don't really want your NXT favorites to actually go up to the main roster.
Exactly.
They almost fucked up with Kevin Owens. And
they still have time to screw up with him, too.
They still have time. Speaking of which, we got to drop our predictions, too, for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, we do.
And this feud with Ryback lacks nothing. They've rearranged that. They have rearranged that storyline between the two of them at least 3 times. And it's like, make up your mind how you want to do this. I only hope that this Hell in a Cell is a blow-off, because I think Ryback...
You mean their match at Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, I really think it's I hope to God it's a blow-off, because Ryback deserves better. And not saying that. I think he deserves better in terms of who he is as a wrestler, the potential that he has to be a world champion when booked correctly. Because
he's never, I do see the potential in him of being a world champion, but he's never going to get there now, because if he was ever going to be a world champion, then he should have beat CM Punk in that Hell in a Cell match.
Who?
Exactly. Okay, he should have beat that one guy. The Invisible Man.
But that was like the Goldberg chant era. And to a certain extent, and he was red hot. He was super red hot. He actually lost everything. His first 5 pay-per-views he didn't win. But let's just say that didn't happen, because after he came back, I remember they went to Nevada, and man, he was over. That was when he was tagging up with Axel, and he went to Nevada to Las Vegas, and man, people went nuts. And then he was taken off TV for a very long time. It's like, what the fuck? And then he came back, and it seems as if the crowd stopped chanting Goldberg at him, And it was like a I guess it was just so refreshing to see him back on TV, and he was back as a total badass that everyone just kind of got behind him. Now, remember when he did that in-ring promo about like him and his basic trials and tribulations on his way to the WWE main roster?
Yeah, I do.
And him talking about the book, the what is it, the secret, and all that stuff. That looked like that was going to be something that was going to work. He didn't have to be like a mindless sort of ogre killing machine. We got a sense of who he was. But rather than to sort of run with that and do some cool things and get us really behind him, he was losing matches. And they took him off TV again. And I was like, what the fuck? And then when they brought him back again, they threw him in the whole thing, because him getting an IC belt, he wasn't supposed to be the IC belt holder. It was supposed to be Daniel Bryan. He actually filled in, and they had to sort of like scrape to get a new IC belt holder. And Ryback just happened to be the guy. And, you know, he just came off as sort of a placeholder.
Yeah.
You know, like...
oh, definitely.
And then they tried to re-up the whole truth book thing, and it just didn't work out. Now, right now, I don't know if you noticed his feud with Kevin Owens is that like he's dropped all of that, like, you know, oh me, oh my, the secret, a book, you know, positivity, and he's just been mad, you know, just pissed off. Like, not talking. And when he does talk, he's like, fuck you, Kevin Owens, feed me more. Right? That's all he's been doing. I'm like, okay, you up, you're down, you're up, you're down with this guy. Please maintain this shit with him. And you know what?
What I would like to see happen with Ryback, honestly, is similar to what they did with Goldberg. Not in the sense of, oh, give him a streak, give him the world title. Have him just destroy people, be a silent assassin. Give him a mouthpiece. I mean, I know they tried that before with Paul Heyman, and we know how that went, and it was super awkward and whatever. But they could be doing a lot more with him than they are now.
I feel like doing any kind of thing like that is just a little too late for him. It's just way too late for him. You want this guy, it's not like he's new on the roster. He's been there for a while. And if you want him to be a solid upper mid-card guy, maybe at some point a championship contender, then you put him in championship contender type feuds where one guy who's on the upper mid-card, you know, why bullshit? Put him up against Randy Orton. Put him up against Roman Reigns. Stop bullshitting. Put him in a feud with have him beef at Triple H. You know, like, just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just pull the trigger. And don't put him in, you know, guys like Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens is not really doing him any favors. And he's not doing any favors to Kevin Owens either. It's kind of like, this is awkward.
Well, and I think what the deal is, it's like, okay, to a casual fan that doesn't go on the internet, that just goes to the shows, maybe watches Raw every once in a while, they see Kevin Owens and they see Ryback as equals. But if you take, like, let's say me and you, who we're privy to what goes on the internet, we know more than what we know more about wrestling than just WWE, because let's face it, WWE casuals don't, for the most part. But so we know where Kevin Owens came from. We know where Ryback came from. And it's just a lot of people will cheer Kevin Owens over Ryback because he came from Ring of Honor, from PWG, from this, that, and the other. But if you're a casual WWE fan who doesn't watch indies, who doesn't know anything outside the WWE, then people are going to like Ryback. That's why he's getting so over, in my opinion.
How about this perspective as a casual? if I'm sitting down and I'm just happening to check out the WWE product, whether Raw or SmackDown, and I look at this guy over here, this Ryback guy, and I see him just like this guy who just could rip everyone's head off, and I look over to the other side, I just see some fat dude.
Meaning Kevin Owens.
Yes, my disbelief is blown. I'm just like, why is this even a issue right now? This big fuck, this ripped should destroy this fat dude, right?
Yeah.
Like, my suspension of belief is completely ruined as a casual watcher. Like, dude, just destroy this fat fuck. you know, like what's the problem? You find out if you even care that much that actually, Kevin Owens is just outsmarting him. He's just a little more wily. So it makes it hard for this brute to just sort of take him down. But still, man, it just doesn't work. It's just an aesthetic that's just not working. It's one thing to have the little guy, the David and Goliath, but this isn't even David and Goliath. I don't even see them as equals. Even if I just looking at it, I just go like, this is just an odd pairing.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you there. It's like, Ryback is good, and Kevin Owens is good. They're good as individuals, but together, it's just they've had good matches, but it's just like you're not going to watch one of those matches again because
Ryback should just destroy this guy in seconds.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, their matches, it's like you'll watch a match, it'll be there, and then you're not going to think twice about it.
And also the smarts, it's just roided out guy movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's people are more likely to, it's common man theory, and it's like, I look at that guy in that ring and I'm like him, I don't have the physique, I don't have the look, but I'm still here. I could be represented in a WWE product. And that's what Kevin Owens is. He's the everyman that's in the ring, and they look and they live, the smarts live through that, and they look at a guy like Ryback, who was basically, that was the standard in the 80s and the 90s of these big dudes.
Plus, he came through the WWE machine.
Yeah, and it's like, no,
and that's something they don't like.
we don't want that anymore. We want people that look like us. It's like, come on, man. To a certain degree, the WWE is still a fantasy. It's still It's still escapism to a certain degree. You're looking at guys who are not you, and we talked about this before. We're looking at guys. You want to look at guys that are not you. You want to look at guys who you want to be, who the guys want to be, and who the girls want to be with. And you just don't get that out of Kevin Owens. But if you look at the WWE universe, they're the same. They're not the guy that the guys want to be, or the guys that girls want to be with. No, they're just a bunch of nerds. And it's just
like you.
Yeah, well, at least I'm tall. And I'm not like,
Yeah, you're taller than me.
I'm taller than Apollo Crews.
That is weird.
I'm 6'6", bro.
I thought you were 6'4".
I'm 6'6".
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm a tall dude. So I guess the point, man, we jumped right off, but the point I was making
we did.
With the whole WWE NXT thing with Rusev is that this guy is done. I feel like he's just another notch on the wheel. And maybe it is something with Vince McMahon, who's sabotaging all these up-and-coming acts.
But why would he do that? Because if he does, like, I mean, it goes to what you said earlier. Like, Vince might just want WWE to die altogether when he dies.
Yeah.
But so if that's the case, then he might. That just might happen. But it's like, if you want your company to have a future and have a sustainable future, then you need to take your developmental program more seriously and not completely bury these guys and cut their legs off from them when they get to the main roster.
Just look at the business model in general. The business model is on life support once you think about it. You mean to tell me you're going to yank a huge segment of your income by getting rid of the pay-per-view model and starting your own network? Now, kudos to the innovation. Kudos for doing that. But wouldn't it have been better if it would have been a slow burn to getting there rather than like, whoop, okay, Time Warner, I'm done with you. I'm going to start this network and struggle for a while.
Well, I think it was kind of a slow burn in a sense because I don't know if you remember, but prior to the WWE Network launching on February 24th of 2014, when it did, it was supposed to launch the day of WrestleMania 28. Mm-hmm. In whatever year that was. I think it was 2012.
I remember them promoting the WWE Network around 2012. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so it was supposed to, and they said it was supposed to launch on the day of WrestleMania 28. It did not because they wanted to put it on TV, and they didn't have a way to put it on TV. So then they had to postpone it and work all the bugs out, and then we eventually got the over-the-top service that we have now, which I think is great. I'm much more happy with it being set up like it is now versus a just set channel, because then we wouldn't have like all the on-demand service and everything else that we have on there. So I think this model itself is a lot better.
Yeah, but it's still on thin ice to a certain extent. Okay.
Well, but you have to remember too, it's like wrestling is still as popular as it gets, and I don't know if you listen to Alice Radley. A long time ago, she said that wrestling is a very niche product.
Yeah.
And she's right about that, because no matter how popular you think wrestling is, it's like, yeah, you could go to one place and like talk to somebody and they might be a wrestling fan, but it happens more now than it used to, but it's still, people don't watch, like, not everybody watches wrestling. So you're trying to take this network and you're trying to cater it to everybody when it's not going to be for everybody, because like the casuals aren't going to pay anything for this network.
No,
they might do the free trial and then that's it.
Who's going to pay for this? The casuals, necessarily, although the people who were fans of it as kids, and they got an extra $9 a month to go back and relive their childhood. Now, those people are baseball fans, 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s. They're football fans. They're basketball fans. They all love sports and athletics. They grew up. They like, I'm not gonna watch that fake shit anymore. Whatever. But if you could talk to any of those people, the casuals, I guess the older male spectrum, and if they ever talk about like when they were watching as a kid, they'll light up like a motherfucker. They're light up. It's like some of their best childhood memories, right? It's like, man, the Ultimate Warrior, man, and like the Macho Man Randy Savage, man, and the Hulk Hogan, man, and those are the people that you want buying the network so they can like every once in a while go watch an old match or something,
Yeah.
But and those people are watching these sports. Yeah. And there's no WWE Network advertisement. You mean to tell me a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls has gone by, and there hasn't been one WWE Network? Like, here's $1 million, NBC. Like, give me 30 seconds to promote the WWE Network to these dudes who used to watch wrestling. And you go all out with the old stuff. You don't even mention the new product. Just go, remember Hulk Hogan? Blah, blah, blah. But you remember Macho Man Randy Savage? Remember this guy? Remember that guy?
Well, they're not going to mention Hulk Hogan either.
No, I'm just saying in general. I caught myself on that. But, don't cut no corners in terms of getting the nostalgia out there that this thing exists. And for $9, $9.99, you can relive your childhood, right? That's it. We got the World Series. We got the NBA Finals. We got the motherfucking Super Bowl. We got all these things. We got the Stanley Cup Finals, especially when a guy like CM Punk, who was on your roster, and he openly speaks about how he was a big hockey fan, right? A lot of these marks started following the Blackhawks just because that dude was, right? So, boom, they're in the Stanley Cup like the last 2 years. Is there one single mention or one 30-second to minute like advertisement of the WWE Network? No. You know? So it's just the marking of it. I just felt like it shoot itself in the foot.
I have seen like late at night when I'm up watching TV, like on like every once in a while on TBS, which is one of Ted Turner's networks. It's because it's TBS, CNN, TNT. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while, I will see a WWE Network advertisement. Every time I see it, it throws me off. And it's never like during a normal part of the day. It's always super late at night. And it's like, why can't you guys spend more money to advertise this thing properly so that people will know about it? Because I guarantee you it would, like if some Joe Schmo is watching some random show on TBS and they see an advertisement for the WWE Network, if they used to be a WWE fan, if they used to be a wrestling fan, if you present the commercial right and say, hey, like you said, do you remember Hulk Hogan? Do you remember Macho Man Randy Savage, Rick Rude, Ultimate Warrior, all these guys that you used to watch as a kid? You can watch them now for $9.99 a month.
But here's the thing,
that
dude.
simple.
It's about the demographic. Whenever there's product placement and what you're selling, TBS late night demographic are unemployed young males. Unemployed 22 to 40-year-old males. And almost like why, during like, say, between 10 and 2, you get a lot of like ECPI, ITT, Technical Institute, while you get a lot of truck drive, get your truck driver's license, University of Phoenix, because it's unemployed people. And that's why it's on late. So the WWE Network isn't subscribing to the person with jobs, the person who's able to get up and buy a ticket to go to a football game or to get together with friends. He's targeting lonely, unemployed males, right? Who just got nothing else to do but to waste time on hours and hours of old wrestling content. And it's like, dude, that's silly. Because obviously you want the people that have money, have access to money with jobs that will invest in your product rather than people who have to go ask their mom or like barely scraping by because they're unemployed to watch your product. They're not going to go buy a T-shirt. They're not going to go to a live WWE show. They ain't got the money to do so. So I just go like, wow, they just totally missed the mark on that completely. But just other things, it's just they're doing this ESPN thing with Seth Rollins and shit, right? And it's like, wait a minute. Wouldn't this have been awesome if this would have been like at least 4 or 5 years ago for them to do this sort of thing? Right now, you're putting crap on ESPN. Someone's going to look at ESPN and like, look at this. Oh, man, this is crap. The fuck's going on with WWE? So that's going to do them more damage because the product that they're trying to talk about today isn't even up to speed with the clientele or the revenue or the, what's the word I want to use? The current of people that, what's the word I want to use? Again, I'll just say current. The current of people they want watching this. Okay, somebody just watched some fucking NFL highlights. They don't watch Ariana get roughed up, and now here's Seth Rollins talking about the feud, talking about Summer Rae finding out that Rusev is already engaged. Like, get out of here.
Next week they'll bring in Maury Povich.
Oh my God, it's just.
I swear to God, that's where it's.
They'll bring back Ricky Lake. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just to no avail. So yeah, just to end up with this one thing, I just feel like there's no returning. And from Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, he put that ring on that finger for job security. That's all I'm saying. He saw the writing on the wall. His future's not looking bright. In this storyline, how he's been losing recently, and him knowing that Vince McMahon is like on his ass about being in a relationship, job security.
So you're saying if he gets released tomorrow, that Lana would still be employed, and that. So you're saying that way?
Well, he'd just still be on the main roster. I think even someone like a Zack Ryder, even though he went to mega highs because he gave himself a push and everyone sort of caught on. Now he's like mega low.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
No, but nevertheless, I'm just saying he's still getting a check from the WWE, and that check for the WWE and working less to say what he would be on the indies is just, dude, I ain't passing that up for shit.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You could be Cesaro. Notice Cesaro, you don't hear anything about Cesaro complaining about his, I guess, anti there of a push, and he's about to start a fucking program with Stardust of all people.
Gross.
He ain't complaining about that check. He's like, yo, whatever, dude. Pin me, put me in a dumb storyline, as long as I still get that check. And I feel like Rusev's in the same way. He doesn't want to lose that check. Is either be fired or be on Superstars.
Which right now Cesaro pretty much is on Superstars. So.
Or even Rusev. Rusev would take that. You don't think he'll take that?
They're not going to put Rusev on Superstars.
Well, I'm thinking they're going to just take him off altogether. And that's why he decided to get married. That's why he decided to throw that job security. Everybody with me, you listening? Job security. Job security. He's smart. He's a smart man. He ain't stupid. I'll tell you that much. So let's jump to NXT real quick. And this is something that I was kind of complaining about on NXT TakeOver about how Apollo Crews, and Tyler Breeze wasn't given any kind of legs to a feud. I thought it could have been really good for the both of them to have been in a feud together.
Sure.
You find out that was a one-off because they had plans for Apollo Crews to be the number one contender to the NXT belt. I think it's a bad move.
Yeah. It's too soon.
I was listening to the Solid Monster today, and he was mentioning, it's like, well, Kevin Owens won the belt soon. Was he ready? It's like, wait a minute. I see what you're trying to do. No one had a problem with Kevin Owens getting an NXT championship push. Why are you having a problem with Rick Crews?
Yeah.
And I go, I understand your point, and it could be a little, what's the word? It could be a little suspect. What, this young black male can't get the same treatment as Kevin Owens? Yeah, that's how suspect it kind of sounds. And I don't think anyone's looking at it that way. And Solid Monster's a smart dude, and I wish he would have thought this through more. But the track record for Kevin Owens spans, and people know who the fuck he is, especially the smart ones. We don't know who the fuck Uhaa Nation is. He's actually been kind of secret, to a certain extent. He's been on PWG. He's been doing stuff with, I think, the hell is happening with my computer? My computer is acting silly.
Your computer sucks. You need a new one.
I know, but I deal with. Oh God! All right. Hopefully, it's still recording. But he hasn't been on anyone's radar really. He shows up. People kind of know who he is. We don't know what past feuds he's been in. We don't know what past matches he's had. People with matches with. We don't know anything about this guy. And he's on NXT, and he's just smiling. The one opportunity he had to have like a decent feud is taken away. Now, you're going to put this guy in a situation where he has absolutely no substance. And he has the potential to be the next NXT star. champion. And I just go like, yeah, it is too much too soon. It's too much way too fucking soon.
Well, and if they're already like, because honestly, the match that he had with Tyler Breeze at TakeOver, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And like I remember saying on there or on the show that we talked about that, it's like either way, no matter who loses, it's like it's going to hurt the other guy. But it's like, where do they go with? I think I know where they're going to go with Tyler Breeze. I mean, they're probably going to put him on the main roster now. But it's like, okay, Apollo Crews is going to be in NXT. Where does he go? What does he do? And this, that, and the other. And then once he gets to the main roster, how long before Vince McMahon is like, oh, this guy is black, so we're not going to push him?
No. Vince loves this guy. I mean, I'd imagine Vince looks at this guy as like, yo, I like this guy. It's not Vince that's the problem. It's not Vince who we're worried about if he ever comes to the main roster. This guy has the look. This guy has the physique. He has the color. This guy has everything that Vince McMahon is looking for in a wrestler. It's the Michael P.S. Hayeses of the world. It's the Kevin Dunns of the world. Those are the guys who are the obstacles for a guy like for Crews. Now, yeah. In terms of Tyler Breeze, he does house shows. You know, he's on the main roster for house shows. I still don't see him going up to the main roster anytime soon. I think it's going to be a while. And if he goes up, he cannot go up with that gimmick. It just, you talk about another, and we talked about this already. It's going to be another Adam Rose.
Yeah.
You know, he can't go up with that kind of gimmick. He could get something, something close where he's like a pretty boy, but to that extent, that sort of over the top pretty boy gimmick, it won't translate. It won't translate over, and it's just going to. I don't think that there's enough smarts that pay attention to that main roster enough to really buy into that gimmick.
Yeah, because and it's like there was something a while ago that said that it was quoted in an article, and it said that NXT was created, or actually Stephanie McMahon said it, and she word for word said that NXT was created for people that do not like WWE. And so it's like, okay, so you've got these guys on NXT, and then they come to the main roster to WWE, and then they fail because Vince McMahon doesn't care, and the fans by that point don't care what Vince McMahon is going to do with them. It's like, what is the point of even having developmental if you're not going to develop these guys further once they get out of developmental and onto your main roster?
To answer your question from maybe 20, 25, 30 minutes ago, is like, well, why would Vince McMahon sabotage the NXT, in spite of Triple H?
Mm-hmm.
You do keep up with wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things, heat, all this crap, it's petty. The inner workings, the inner business of professional wrestling is probably the most petty, organized anything, sport or theater or whatever you want to call it, than any across the board. The littlest of things will get you heat. The littlest of things will have someone in the doghouse. The littlest of things, someone's gonna have will have their push taken from them. The littlest of things, and the mainstay to that is Vince McMahon. Like, he holds grudges, and he doesn't. If you piss him off, if you do one little thing, or if he doesn't like anything, he's gonna let it be known, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the pettiness of Vincent K. McMahon is, in spite of Triple H and them not being his guy. Big E should be a star. He should be.
Yeah, he should.
Big E should be a star. Neville right now should be an up-and-comer. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. He should be an up-and-comer. Dean Ambrose should be a star right now. Like, there's a whole host. Bo Dallas should be a heel amongst heels. Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family should be a force to reckon with to the big dogs. Like, Triple H should be shivering in his boots whenever Bray Wyatt shows up. He should. But for some fucking reason, all those people that I named have been booked to shit.
Yep.
And it ain't by coincidence, man. It's not coincidence. This isn't something that's like, oh yeah, by the way, like, these guys are booked to trash. There's something there that's keeping those guys from getting to the point where they need to be. And that point is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Hands down. Hands down. There's no future. You know when they show the whole, like, NXT, the future of WWE? No. Not at this rate. Not until Vince McMahon dies. Everyone coming up. Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe. Dude, it is Vince and Cena up in a tree. KISSING. That's it, dude.
Wow.
As long as I got my Cena.
I can't believe you just said that on the air. That's funny.
As long as I got my Cena, I'm good. Everything else can eat a dick.
But, like, okay, I completely understand and I agree with everything you're saying. But Vince McMahon has to realize that Cena is being held together by paper clips, duct tape, and gum at this rate. And eventually, he's not going to be able to wrestle anymore. So what does Vince McMahon do then?
Oh, well, the whole point is that Cena dies. So, yeah.
You lost me.
Yeah, the whole point is that to kill Cena. Let's kill... I'm gonna kill WWE. I'm gonna make sure Cena is dead. And then we're all... Me, my company, John Cena, we're all going to fit in one big old coffin. And we're going to all get buried together. And he's going to look... And in his will, his last will and testament is like, fix this, you jabronis.
I think that's a really far-fetched idea.
It's a funny one. And whoever's listening probably get a good chuckle. And that's the whole point of this. It is a good chuckle, but it's something to think about. I think it's a serious topic to think about. To consider that Vince is sabotaging. He's sabotaging his own product in spite of Triple H and Stephanie. I think things would be much different if his son was around. I think it would be much different. I think he's still pissed off at his son for not continuing the family business. So we'll see if Shane O'Mac, within the next couple of years, how many years Vince has on this planet, that he returns. And if that's the case, we got probably the hottest storyline in wrestling with the feud of Shane O'Mac. If you want to, because fuck this authority figure shit. I'm so sick.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
The storyline of the returning the prodigal son and Stephanie and Triple H. That storyline itself is just gold. It's gold. It's gold. It's set in stone. It's ready to go. Unlike, say, when what is it? When WCW, what do they call the
Invasion?
Yeah, the Invasion. But what were the WCW guys called?
Well, it was WCW and ECW. It was the Alliance.
The Alliance, yeah. Yeah. But a way better story than the Alliance versus Vince McMahon. Because that storyline was garbage.
Well, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it was garbage, because everyone got paid to sit on their butt and they didn't want to work.
Yeah, the big dogs stayed on the porch. Yeah. Yep. So. Oh well. So we'll see from here. Anything else? Anything else? Man, is it anything else?
Not that I can think of WWE wise. Trying to think if there's anything relatively interesting going on in Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, I got word that Alberto Del Rio won't be showing back up to Lucha Underground.
And why is that?
I think he just wasn't happy with the way he was being handled. He wanted to be the top guy. And
okay.
And he wasn't. And I think he's considering, this is something I heard on the Solomon, that he's actually considering going to TNA. So he's about to fuck up.
Yeah, I think he's just going to stay in AAA. I don't think he's going anywhere.
It's speculation.
Yeah, actually, speaking of AAA, did you hear about the whole Mystasis situation?
No, I mean, you be telling me about AAA.
Okay, so Mystasis, or the original Sin Cara,
yes,
is he was in CMLL. His name was Mystico, and he was the biggest star in Mexico. They signed him to WWE. He flopped there. We all know that. You know that. He went to AAA because someone in CMLL was using the Mystico name. So now he went to AAA. He was Mystasis. He screwed over AAA due to some problems that he had with somebody. And he walked out of AAA and showed up on CMLL unannounced, and now he's back in CMLL.
What's up with these fucking wrestlers, man?
He's not allowed to use the name Mystico, the name that he created, because someone else already has that moniker. So his new name is Mystique 2.0.
This guy's a walking fuck up.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's burned bridges in WWE. He's purposely injured people in matches.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch.
In WWE, from what I've heard. Not saying he's done it, but it's just something I've heard. He's screwed up with AAA. It's a matter of time before he screws up in CMLL. It's like, how many more bridges can this guy burn before he has to leave? And then Mexico can produce a DVD titled "The Self-Destruction of Mystico," because this guy, like,
that's a good one.
I haven't seen self-destructive behavior like this since the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
I honestly haven't.
That's a good one. But yeah, I mean, I can't focus on that idiot. I think after. Yeah, that was definitely a failed experience.
Well, and he was supposed to wrestle. He was supposed to finish his feud with Rey Mysterio. Okay, the reason why he left AAA, I just thought of it. The reason he left AAA, they were going to do a mask versus mask match between Mysterio and Mystasis. And because of what happened at Triple Mania, where Mystasis turned on basically turned heel, beat up Rey Mysterio at the end of the show. So they wanted to lead to a mask versus mask match. They wanted Mystasis to lose.
Yeah.
That is why he walked out. I understand having pride and everything, but it's like,
do the job.
Just, do what you're told. And it's like, it's not unheard of in Mexico to lose your mask and then put another mask on.
But how about this? We've already dealt with Ray losing his mask. You know?
Yeah.
So we've seen that storyline before. So why would we want to bring that back up? Obviously, the job would have to be done by Mystasis or whatever.
Well, and that's why I'm saying it's like it's obvious to me, like not knowing who was going to win that match, but just from what happened, it's pretty damn obvious that the writing is on the wall that Mystasis was going to lose that match. If he was going to win, there's no way he would have walked out. So it's an interesting situation. He didn't inform AAA of what he was doing. He just decided, I'm going to show up on CMLL. It's petty. Similar to what that other guy that left the company after Royal Rumble 2014 did. The only difference is that he didn't show up on another wrestling show.
It's like Hernandez. I think that's the only thing I can really come up with that's even remotely close.
Well, yeah, but that's not really topical because that's something that happened in TNA, and yeah. TNA doesn't exist in my world anymore.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, maybe like 10 minutes ago, how petty things are in wrestling. Oh, I'm not doing the job, I'm leaving.
Man, it's like, I don't understand, like, when you get into wrestling, it's like, you understand wrestling is predetermined, right? You understand what you're doing. It's like, it's not fake. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to pull a Dana White and say, wrestling's fake. But it's choreographed entertainment with scripted outcomes. Predetermined outcomes. Meaning, before the match, who's winning, who's losing. And then when they find out that they're losing, it's like, well, I don't want to lose to this guy. I don't want to put this guy over. It's like, you're still getting paid. Do your job and put the guy over and then be done with it. I don't understand what the big issue is.
Just silly pride. They're marks for themselves. And
in a fake sport. It doesn't make any sense. No, I'm going to get heat because I just called wrestling fake.
Who cares? Like, whatever. They can eat a dick. They can eat a whole penis souffle. For all I care. But,
that's gross.
Ain't it, though? They can eat it, though. They can get seconds. Get a doggy bag. So I guess other than, say, what's happening with the Evolve promotion growing more and more. And it's funny, too, because the Evolve promotion itself is definitely PWG. I mean, it's like the direct product of PWG. The guys from Evolve are from PWG. Sami Zayn just went down there to do like something. I think something off camera.
He did. Yeah, he did. I watched Evolve 49. I did not watch Evolve 50. I'm probably not going to be able to watch it until next weekend. But he did say something at the conclusion of one of the shows, but it wasn't on camera.
Yeah, it was just basically putting over the product. I mean, ROH. Yeah. Again, ROH was that for like a very long time. It seemed that bridge has been burned. I feel like that's it with the relationship. And it's not like Evolve doesn't have great talent. It's just that I look at guys from ROH that I think should get a call. You look at your Adam Coles, you look at your
Roderick Strong.
Yeah, you look at these guys. You look at your Cedric Alexanders and even Moose for that matter. Those guys won't get an opportunity until they leave that promotion to possibly live out their dream to work for the biggest wrestling promotion in the world right now, and it's a real shame. And that got burned down because they tried to be slick, and it's just petty. That's the name of this fucking podcast.
Pettiness.
Mark Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Well, it's better than whatever last week's name of the podcast was because it was something really, really dumb.
It was Awkward Mania.
Yeah. Or no, like 2 weeks ago. It was
MSG's Up, Hose Down?
It was really weird.
You get it? G's Up, Hose Down?
Yeah, that one.
That was cool.
What?
You're breaking
up.
No,
I get it. I just can't hear you right now because you're breaking up.
Yeah, we're both breaking up, and which would make for a good way to get the fuck off this podcast. You still there?
Yep. Yeah, I'm still here.
Get your concise plug in.
You can follow me on Twitter at Headliner5. Follow Eyes in the Ring at Eyes in the Ring. And visit the website, eyesinthering.com, facebook.com/eyesinthering, and that's pretty much all I've got.
Sounds good. Subscribe to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling YouTube, Tumblr. Find us on SoundCloud, iTunes. Subscribe, like, comment, and then share all that shit. You can find me at pjtwcentral.com. I know I said I was going to do like a top 10 of how the WWE can be better. I need to make more changes to the list, and maybe next Sunday you will get part 1. Everything's backed up. Oh, shit, we didn't even get our predictions.
Oh, you're right. Do you want to do that quick?
Real quick.
All right, I'm going to have to look up the matches, though, because I don't even know, like, what's...
Okay. All right, I'm going to go Hell in a Cell.
I knew we forgot something.
Cell. 2000. Okay, matches. Boom. All right. So do you just want me to run through quick? Yep.
Okay, so Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton will defeat the Wyatt family on the pre-show. I have no idea that this is or why this is on the pre-show, but it is.
That's sad, ain't it?
Huh?
Randy Orton on a pre-show.
Yeah, I know, and Dean Ambrose too. It's weird. I'm not sure about Undertaker Brock Lesnar.
Wait. All right, so Randy Orton and Ambrose defeat the Wyatt family. I agree.
Okay. Moving on, Undertaker Brock Lesnar. I'm going to go with Lesnar, but I have a feeling that Undertaker could win, so you never know. This is the match that I'm really not sure about.
I'm going Lesnar, dude.
Yeah, so for prediction's sake, I'm going with Lesnar. Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in Hell in a Cell. I do not care about this match at all. I didn't even know it was a Hell in a Cell match until last Monday. But I'm going with Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
All right. Charlotte versus Nikki Bella for the WWE Divas title. I'm going with Charlotte. There's no point in having Nikki win it back.
Nikki becomes a 2-time Divas champion.
Puke. Seth Rollins versus Kane. Where the winner, WWE World Heavyweight title match. If Team Kane loses, Corporate Kane will be fired. Director operations. Seth Rollins, or actually, what did I say last night on Eyes in the Ring? I'm trying to think. Kane is going to lose.
Yes.
But he's going to lose by DQ. And not get pinned. Therefore, the stipulation is null and void.
Oh, I see. I'm just going with Roman Reigns. I mean, not Roman. I'm going with Seth Rollins winning. I'm not really interested in how it all turns out. But I see him. He wins the big matches, even though he has his probably the worst championship win-loss record in WWE history.
It's terrible.
But he wins the big matches. That's all that matters. So I got Seth Rollins just winning all right out.
All right, and then the New Day of Big E, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston taking on the Dudley Boys for the tag team titles.
This connection is shitty right now.
Yeah, I know.
Let's just power through it. So we got the New Day versus the Dudley Boys, and I have the Dudley Boys winning.
Same here. And then the last match came the Intercontinental title against Ryback, and I'm going with Owens on that one.
You going who?
Kevin Owens.
I have Kevin Owens winning too. Just Ryback needs to move up the card. I think he needs to be filler at least. Have him go after Seth Rollins for a change. Seth Rollins needs more filler until he finally meets up with Brock Lesnar. I think he's a great place for it. And that's it. Hello?
Yeah.
All right. So that's it.
Here. All right.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Neu Daye Podcast. Sorry for all the technical difficulty and all that crap. But either way, it's still fun. You got any last words?
Nope. Just looking forward to Raw, and hopefully it doesn't suck.
Oh, God. I'm not looking forward to it, and I'm expecting it to suck. If you're listening now, before Raw, check out Peter's Raw recap. I'm actually going to watch both. I'm going to have one computer on Raw and have the other computer on tonight's game against the Eagles and the Giants. So
have fun with that.
Yeah. Check for Peter's Raw recap after Raw. And on behalf of Nathan, don't call me Nathaniel Newman, I'm Peter, and watch out for those foreign objects. Peace.
Peace.